Archanam means worship of the deity in the temple. By executing this process, one confirms himself to not be the body but spirit soul. In the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sudama, an intimate friend of Lord Krishna, said, "Simply by worshipping Krishna, one can easily achieve all the results of heavenly opulence, liberation, supremacy over the planetary systems of the universe, all the opulences of this material world, and the mystic power of performing the yoga system."
Sarva sadhana hinopi Navadvipaika samshrayaha yakkopi prapnuyad eva Radha priya rasotsavat. Even after performing sadhana for millions of years, it is very difficult to achieve Krishna prema. But a person who is devoid of any sadhana comes to Navadvipa dham and takes shelter wholeheartedly, can develop same Krishna prema very easily. Today, our parikrama is in Ritudvipa of Navadvipa Mandala. This dvipa represents Archanam aspect of Navavida Bhakti. Supreme Lord Krishna mercifully descends in his Archavatara form so that fallen people get an opportunity to associate with Supreme Lord as Archa Vigraha and get purified. For this reason, great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada engage devotees in worship of the Supreme Lord, and they give various opportunities. Shri Vigraharadhana Nityanana Shringara Tanmandira Marjanadau. This place is called Ritudvipa because all the Ritus reside here in their personal form. Vasanta Ritu, Grishma Ritu, Varsha Ritu, Hemanta Ritu, Sharad Ritu, Shishira Ritu, all the 6 seasons reside here, and they constantly engage in worshipping of Lord Gauranga. They discuss about Lord Gauranga's pastimes. One of the Ritu says, very soon Lord Gauranga will appear here, who is the son of Maharaj Nanda in Krishna Leela. Another Ritu says, when he comes, he will increase our happiness by chanting the names of Krishna in great ecstasy, and he will roll on the floor in the mood of separation from Sri Krishna. In this way, they constantly think, discuss, and engage in the service of Gauranga in Ritudvipa. In this Ritudvipa, there are many enchanting pastimes of Gauranga. Today, we have the fortune of visiting a few of them. Sri Nityananda Prabhu came to Ritudvipa with Jiva Goswami and other devotees to continue their Navadvipa Parikrama. Seeing the beautiful serene atmosphere of Ritudvipa, Nityananda Prabhu got into the mood of Balaram. This Ritudvipa reminded him of Vrindavan Dham. Tato Vrindavanam dhyayet paramananda vardhanam sarva rutu kusumopetam patatri gananaditam brahmad brahmara jhankara mukari kritadin mukam kalindi jala kallola sangi maruta sevitam. Vrindavan, where the forest is filled with varieties of flowers in all 6 Ritus. The same 6 Ritus staying in their personal form in Ritudvipa, glorifying Lord Gauranga, reminded Nityananda Prabhu of Vrindavan Dham. By seeing this atmosphere, Nityananda started calling out loudly, "Krishna, Krishna, where are you?" He said, "My dear Lord Krishna, Gauranga, Why did you leave us by taking sannyasa? You left us and went to Neelachala Dham. I will not be able to maintain my life. I'll give up my life jumping into Kalindi river. Saying like this, Nityananda Prabhu fainted. Understanding Nityananda Prabhu is in Mahabhava, the great ecstasy of Krishna Prema. The devotees started doing Sankirtan around him. Even after about 2 hours, Nityananda Prabhu did not regain his consciousness. Devotees started chanting Gaura Gita, the pastimes of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Hearing his beloved Lord's name Gauranga, Nityananda Prabhu slowly opened his eyes and he was here at this place of Ritudvipa. He immediately told, "This is Radha Kunda, this is Shama Kunda," and he started jubilantly dancing. He said, this place of Ritudvipa and this pond is non-different from Radha Kunda, Shama Kunda, where Gauranga Mahaprabhu with his devotees come here every afternoon to perform his Sankirtana. In this way, with great joy, all the devotees sang and danced to Harinama Sankirtana, and they all were happy to see Radha Kunda, Shama Kunda in Navadvip Mandal as shown by Nityananda Prabhu. We'll all pray to Nityananda Prabhu for his causeless mercy upon all of us. Lord Nityananda says, Ritudvipa antargate e Vidyanagara sthane, Matsya Rupa Bhagavan Sarva Veda Dhare. At the time of Pralaya, annihilation, Lord in his incarnation as Matsya brought all the Vedas to this place. Since then, this place in Ritudvipa is known as Vidyanagara. Vidyanagara is the abode of the 4 Vedas and 64 arts and sciences. It is also the appearance place of Pancharatra, Yoga Shastra, Tarka, Nyaya, Karma Mimamsa and many other angas of Vedic knowledge. It is also the place of Ayurveda and Dhanurvidya. Lord Brahma educated Sapta Rishis and Devatas at this place of Ritudvipa called Vidyanagara. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come to Vidyanagar in order to perform Sankirtana. Tathas Sankirtananande Shri Vidyanagaram Harihi Dadarsha Parshadair Sardham Vedasthane Anuttamam. Navadvip Dham Mahatmya tells, this Vedasthana, the abode of the Vedas, which is incomparable in the whole universe. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being absorbed in ecstasy of Sankirtana, would come here with his associates and go home to meet his devotees. This pastime of Lord Gauranga tells us, when we become his devotees and engage in Sankirtana Yajna, Lord gets attracted to our home. Let's pray to Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu in this part of Ritudvipa Vidyanagara that we are always be engaged in Sankirtana so that Supreme Lord get attracted to our home and bless us.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Once, in the assembly of demigods in Svargaloka, Brihaspati, the guru of Devatas, became very concerned. When Devatas asked reasons for that, Brihaspati replied, very soon the Supreme Lord will appear in Navadvip as son of Mother Shachi Devi. He will manifest many wonderful pastimes. As Lord Ramachandra, he was expert in Dhanurvidya, the art of weaponry. He was the chief among cowherd boys as Krishna Chandra. In this incarnation as Gaurachanda, he will be greatly learned person and manifest many scholarly pastimes. He will enjoy like never before and he will fulfill all of his desires. I must immediately go engage in worshipping my Lord upon his appearance. This way, Brihaspati came to this part of Ritudvipa called Vidyanagara and appeared in the house of Visharada as Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. This used to be the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Today, there is a temple of Sri Sri Radha Shamasundar in the place of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, living here, would teach many angas of Vedic literatures and Vedic Shastras to many of his disciples. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was extremely popular for his erudite scholarship. Later, he moved from this place called Vidyanagar to Nilachala Dhama, Jagannath Puri, and assumed the role of a head priest in the temple. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Sannyasa Diksha, he reached Jagannath Puri and first place he resided was at the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was teaching Vedanta Sutra to many people in Jagannath Puri. By seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he thought he is a young sannyasi. I must give him Vedanta Sutra knowledge. And he started teaching him Vedanta Sutra for 7 days. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard him without any interruption for 7 days. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya thought, this student is not understanding his explanation on Vedanta Sutra. He asked him, my dear young sannyasi, are you not understanding my explanation? You're not asking any doubts. You're not making any comments. Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya, who had appeared to exhibit scholarly pastimes, told Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, my dear Sarvabhauma, I understand the Vidya-vachaspati's explanation, but I do not understand your misleading explanation of Vedanta Sutra. This angered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya because there was nobody who could dare to reply Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was a scholar and he was popular for teaching Vedanta Sutra at that time. He challenged Lord Chaitanya to give the real explanation on Vedanta Sutra. Lord Chaitanya explained beautifully the real intention of Vedanta Sutra and gave many wonderful explanation of Vedanta Sutra, hearing which Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's heart was transformed. He surrendered to Lord Chaitanya. He realized that he is none other than the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Lord Chaitanya gave his Shadbhuja Darshan, 6-handed form Darshan to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, in which he was holding Kamandalu, Sannyasa Danda as Sannyasi. He was playing flute as Krishna. He was also holding Kodanda as Lord Ramachandra. This is how Sarvabhauma was blessed by Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. There are many other pastimes of Sarvabhauma with Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. Once he invited Lord Chaitanya for lunch feast. When his son-in-law made some criticism, Sarvabhauma felt that he is ready for the death of his son-in-law but cannot hear the blasphemy on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This was the heart of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya towards Lord Chaitanya. Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya glorifies Lord Gauranga and his Nama Sankirtana like this. Hare Nama Krishna Nama Ganadana Karinam Lobha Moha Shoka Tapa Sarva Vigna Nashinam Pada Padma Lubda Bhakta Vrinda Bhakti Dayinam Gaura Murtim Ashu Naumi Namasutra Dharinam. My dear Lord, in this incarnation, you are freely distributing the holy names of Sri Krishna to those people who are suffering in Kali Yuga with Lobha, Moha, Shoka, Tapa. Anybody surrenders onto your lotus feet, you give them Krishna Bhakti. In this way, you have appeared in your golden form as Gauranga, wearing the garland of holy names of Sri Krishna. Like this, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya pays his obeisances again and again to Gauranga Mahaprabhu and remembers the Sankirtana pastimes in this Vidyanagar of Ritudvipa. At this place of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house, let us offer prayer composed by him glorifying Lord Chaitanya. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartham Eka Purusha Puranaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradhari Kripambudim Yastamaham Prapadye. I worship, I offer my obeisances unto you, my Lord Shri Krishna, who has appeared in the form of Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradhari, in the form of a sannyasi, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to teach the whole world the real bhakti, the real dharma as Shri Krishna Bhakti, and he is practicing great renunciation, Vairagya. This prayer was beautifully composed by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Lord Chaitanya realized that as long as he was associated within a family or community, people prone to envy and sectarianism would consider him sectarian, and his mission of spreading Krishna consciousness would not be completely successful. Thus, he decided to renounce his family, wife, and elderly mother and take the renounced order of sannyas in order to dedicate himself to the greater good of the world. At Katwa, 24-year-old Nimai Pandit had his curly black hair shaved off and dressed in saffron cloth accepted a sannyas stick, a symbol of his vow, and a kamandalu. Soon he left Navadvip Dham and travelled by foot to Jagannath Puri.
This was the place where Vidya-vachaspati's house was present. After taking sannyasa, Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu came here as Sri Krishna Chaitanya and stayed in Vidyanagar at the house of Vidya-vachaspati for 5 days. This news of Lord's arrival reached all around, and lakhs of people came to the house of Vidya-vachaspati to behold the darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many people came that there was not enough room for everyone to come and have darshan. Hence, they had to clear the jungles to create more room so that everybody could get the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. Boatmen here had difficulty ferrying so many people throughout the day. Lord Chaitanya, fearing this, he secretly left Vidyanagar to Kulia. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave instruction to Vidya-vachaspati and his brother Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Supreme Lord in Kali Yuga appears in two forms, the form of water and the form of wood. He instructed Vidya-vachaspati to engage in the worship, Archanam of Ganges, which is the mercy incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna. He instructed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to engage in the Archanam of Lord Jagannath, who is an incarnation of Lord Krishna in the wooden form. This place has been sanctified by the visit of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let us also pray to Gauranga so that we may also engage in the worship, Archanam of Gauranga Mahaprabhu always throughout our life.
His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada introduced deity worship, Archanam, in the temples he established worldwide. Here, people can come and associate with the devotees who have dedicated their lives to the mission of Lord Chaitanya. They can study the sacred Vedic scriptures that reveal transcendental knowledge. They can offer their services to the Lord's mission and help spread Krishna consciousness. They can be inspired to practice the process of Krishna consciousness in order to revive their lost relationship with the Supreme Lord. Krishna consciousness is both the means and the end. By practicing the process of sadhana bhakti, the devotee purifies his consciousness gradually in order to serve the Lord eternally in the spiritual world.
Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira, Hari Hari bolibe nayane babe nira. Srila Narottamadas Thakur prays, when will my body shiver in ecstasy hearing the names of Gauranga? When will I cry hearing the names of Lord Sri Krishna? This is the desire of a pure devotee. Today, we had wonderful opportunities to hear the names of Gauranga and his wonderful pastimes in the sacred places of Ritudvipa. With this, we end today's parikrama. Hare Krishna.
ढूले ढूले गोरचांद हरि गुण गान ढूले ढूले गोरचांद हरि गुण गान आशिया वृंदावने आशिया नाचे गोरा रगाय ढोले ढोले गोरा चाँद हरि गुण गाय ढोले ढोले गोरा चाँद কথা বৃন্দাবনের তরুলতা প্রেমে কয় হরি কথা নিকুঞ্জের পাখি গুলি নিকুঞ্জের পাখি গুলি হরি নাম শোনায় ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরা চাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরা চাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় সারি বলে হরি হরি গৌর বলে হরি হরি সারি বলে হরি হরি মুখে মুখে সুখ সারি মুখে মুখে সুখ সারি হরি নাম গোরা চাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরা চাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় হরি নামে মত্ত হয়ে হরি নয়া শিছে ধেয়ে হরি নামে মত্ত হয়ে হরি নয়া শিছে ধেয়ে ময়ূর ময়ূরী প্রেমে ময়ূর ময়ূরী প্রেমে নাচিয়া খেলা ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরা চাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরা চাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় প্রাণে হরি ধ্যানে হরি হরি বল বদন ভরি প্রাণে হরি ধ্যানে হরি হরি বল বদন ভরি হরি নাম গে গে হরি নাম গে গে রসে গলি যায় ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরা চাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরা চাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় আসিয়া যমুনার কোলে নাচে হরি হরি বলে আসিয়া যমুনার কোলে নাচে হরি হরি বলে যমুনায় থলে এসে যমুনায় থলে এসে চরণ ধোয়ায় ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরাচাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরাচাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় গৌর হরি ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরাচাঁদ হরি গুণ গায় ঢোলে ঢোলে গোরাচাঁদ